How you guys doing? Hope you're doing all right. Me, I'm doing okay. Saturday, figured I'd come down in the greenhouse, do a bit of work, and I'd take you guys along. You want to see what we're working on? Flip this camera around. So this is what we're looking at here. So we've got basil, right? Genovese basil. We've got parsley, butter crunch lettuce, red romaine lettuce, prize head lettuce, and then this is the black-seeded Simpson lettuce. And you guys see a problem here? Yeah. Not sure what's going on. I was expecting parsley to start to come up by now, and it hasn't. So I'll give it a little bit more time. And none of the lettuce has come up in any of those other cells. But the black-seeded Simpson is growing like crazy. So, obviously I can't grow it like this. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our pruners and we're going to start thinning this out. So I'm just going to move the camera here a little bit. Because obviously we sure don't need this many heads of lettuce in each tray, do we? So when you overseed, if you're overseeding on purpose, you have to be able to come back and then thin out what you have overseeded. So we're just gonna come in here and get a little aggressive and thin out a whole bunch of this lettuce. And then we can get it down into a manageable amount, because it's certainly not going to grow like this. It's not going to be happy. So we're just going to come in and just snip a whole bunch out. Basically just come in and I'm just, we don't need them, right? Basically what we're looking for is one head of lettuce in each cell. We're looking for one head of lettuce in each cell. That way, when we plant them in our pots, keep the nice one. See, they're getting leggy because they're all fighting for sunlight. So we're going to bring them back to one lettuce per. And then that way, the one lettuce that we do leave can grow nice and healthy. See, so we've left one here. We've left one here. Might be a little hard to see. We'll thin this out a little more. You can get a better look. So you just come in with your little pruners, and if you guys don't have a pair of fine-tipped pruners, I really suggest you get one. Oh, that's sort of hard to see. Let me zoom that in for you. I suggest you get a pair of fine-tipped pruners, because with these, you can really get into the tight spots to do things like this, which would be pretty hard to do with other types of pruners. So we're just going to work our way through here. Get that out of the way. And bring it down to one lettuce per cell. Now, if you were growing outside, some people grow their lettuce in very thick, dense bunches, as a square foot gardening technique. I've grown lettuce that way too. It does work okay. It's not my favorite format to grow lettuce because it tends to kind of grow all over itself, and none of the heads grow in a overly nice shape, which means to harvest them, if you're just looking for a few leaves, makes it challenging to do. Let's re-angle this here. It makes it a little challenging to do. If you're just going to grow it as a cut and come again sort of style, that way works all right if you plant them densely, because you can just come in with a pair of scissors and just kind of grab the head of lettuce or the heads of lettuce and with a knife, and just cut a couple inches above the ground and walk away with a big handful of lettuce. That will work. And I've done that. But if you grow them really tight together, don't expect overly nice heads of lettuce. There's just too much of it growing too tightly together for that process to work nicely. So if I'm going to grow lettuce in a fashion where I want to be able to just walk out to the patch and grab 3 or 4 leaves of lettuce, let's say for sandwiches or something similar, growing them in a high density format, it won't work well. All right. See, and because what's happened, you see how they're not very structurally sound? See how they've fallen over? It's because each individual plant was being supported by all the other plants because they were growing so tight together. So that's why they're falling over here. So once we thin these out, they'll be forced to stand up on their own 2 feet because they won't be able to be supported by all of their neighbors anymore. Almost done. And then we're going to give these probably about another week. Roughly about another week from now. And then, come on. There we go. There. So we're going to give them about another week from now. And then by then they'll be standing up nice and straight. And we will be able to transplant them into their forever homes. But they're pretty sad looking lettuce right now. I did not. And the reason I did that is I was not expecting them all to grow like that. Because look at the germination rates I had in the other 3 cells of lettuce. None of those grew. So I'm not sure why. So we're going to try a different method to grow those. I'm going to germinate the seeds in damp paper towel, but because the seeds are going to be so small, when they germinate, I'm actually going to have to use tweezers to pick them out of the paper towel to replant them, because nothing's growing here. So, but the basil is happy. Right? Look at these little happy basils. So that's good. We're going to thin these out too, because we definitely don't want that much basil growing in each cell. We basically want 1 plant per, because we are going to train this basil. You can train your basil to grow the same way you can train a bonsai plant to grow. So we're just going to come in and snip and remove them and get back to basically 1 basil per. Even such little small plants like this smell so good in here right now. Go, getting close. See, this is why you need little tiny fine tipped pruners. in there. Like that. And these are Fiskars, by the way. These are the Fiskars. So just come in, give them a little snip. And if you are growing basil, by the way, and you want to grow more basil, all you have to do, there we go. All you have to do if you're growing basil and you want more basil, see, doesn't that look way better now, guys? And now each plant will have all of the sun or all of the light from the LED that it needs. It won't have to fight with its neighbors. And these lettuce here, they'll all stand back up now because they're all going to grow towards the sun, right? Or towards the light, which is right above them. So, but if you want more basil, all you have to do is get a basil plant, find a friend with a basil plant, whatever. Take a cutting and then just stick it in a glass of plain water, and the basil shoot will start to sprout roots out of the bottom. All you have to do is grow those roots out and then put it into potting soil, and you have another free basil plant. You can even go to the grocery store, and you know where they have those live basil plants at the store in the little tiny pot? You could even go with a little pair of snips in your pocket and go to where those live basil are and just snip yourself off a little sprig of basil, you know, 3 inches long, put it in your pocket, bring it home, and you can grow that basil. So that's all you need. All right, get out of the way here. So that's everything we cut off. If you had rabbits, you know, you could feed those to your rabbits or your chickens. They'd love it. But this is just going to go into the trash because I don't compost in the wintertime. All right, guys. Well, that's it. There's always work every day, a little more work to do. So have an awesome day. Grow good food. Give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not. And I'll talk to you on the next one. See ya.